Nobody knew that my water broke out of abuse. So while struggling, he forgot I'm pregnant, pushed me across the tree, and then gave me some punch. He told my boss that Vivian is neglecting our kids because of this job. So see what to do, because I'm going to sue her, even in front of everybody. He said that I always carry used condom to our house. My friend, I knelt down. I begged with tears.
Hello, good people of the internet. Welcome to yet another episode of Voices of the Edge. I'm your host, Atieno Otieno. Today's episode will be different as we are here to tell the story of a woman who is rebuilding her life after surviving gender-based violence. Apondi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Why are you here? Why do you want to tell this story?
Thank you, Atieno. I am here to talk about myself, to talk about my story, to raise my voice against gender-based violence, because I was once a victim and now a survivor. So I'm focusing on rebuilding myself. At the same time, trying to raise my voice, share my story. Maybe I may get somebody outside there who can be inspired and get out of their comfort zone and maybe change a life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That is a very powerful and courageous thing to do, because this fight is not over. We are in the middle of war against gender-based violence. So there's definitely someone out there who could use your voice, someone who could use your encouragement. So thank you so much. So before we get into it, who is Apondi? Tell us about yourself.
Apondi is a woman, a female, a mother of two beautiful kids, a boy and a girl. Apondi is a teacher. You know, currently the government is employing the high school teachers on JSS. So me, I call myself Mwalimu wa JSS. So Apondi is an aspiring doctor. So I call myself Dr. V. Don't forget that, it's very important. And Apondi hails from Homa Bay, but I work in a different city. Maybe I may not mention. But Apondi is the firstborn of 4 girls. Yes, both parents are alive. So generally, that is Apondi, a simple woman, just like this. I mean, I don't have any other thing to say about myself. So that is me.
So at what point did you realize that you were being abused? When did it hit you that this is not normal life? And how did you get the courage to walk out?
Yeah, so in the introduction, you didn't hear me say Apondi is married or Apondi is divorced, because I was coming to that. So this is my story. Every young girl growing up has a plan, and you want to know how you're going to live your life. So Apondi is one of them. A young girl from the village who lived her life knowing that she has a plan of going to school, primary, finish primary, go to high school, work so hard in high school, go to the university, graduate, get married to a beautiful wedding, of course a church wedding, raise your children, pray for them. I know, pray and God gives you children, raise your children like a responsible adult. And then now after that, maybe go develop your career. So in my case, that was my plan, the original plan. So I didn't know that that life has got a comedy show that was that was preparing me. Yeah. So I finished high school, went to the university, graduated. I know why I'm emphasizing graduated. And then after that, I started pastor friend. I'm an SDA. So a certain pastor friend connected me to my ex. Then within a short time, everything was done. Actually, within around 3 months, everything was done. The dowry was paid. We had a very wonderful wedding, white wedding in church. And then after that, life had to start. So now I'm like a married woman. So we moved in, went to his place of work, and then we started living just like any other couple. Mine took a twist. Immediately after marriage, I was already working after graduation. So the first thing, which was a red flag that I assumed, that I didn't go back to my workplace. I was not allowed. I was told, if you go back to that place, then I'm not a man. So because, the laws, when somebody tells you that if you go back to your workplace, then I'm not a man. And then now as a woman, you say, we are anichezea, you don't know me. But that is not the same case in marriage. In marriage, you have to be under a man, which is normal. So when he said that, I just shared to my mom. I shared with my mom, and then my mom told me that maybe he has a plan for you. Maybe you people are going to do what? He's going to provide for the family. So, but the only mistake I did, I think that was our 1 month after our wedding. The only mistake I did was that in that previous, my place of work, the previous place of work, I was being paid. And then during the holiday, the teachers are paid during holiday. So I asked for a permission. I told him, if you don't want me to go back to that school, allow me go back, pick my salary. Then at least I can come back. He didn't give me that opportunity, but Apondi is Apondi. I had to find a way of going back to that school. So, I wanted to go back to that school so that in as much as he doesn't want me to go back and teach there, at least I can collect my salary. And maybe if that will make him change his mind, I will stay in that school and teach. So when I went there, found the principal in some meeting, I waited, even had lunch with the teachers in the staff room. And then my money was given, 51,000 was given to him because I was being paid 17,000 per month. So for 3 months, because when I was preparing for the wedding and everything, so I didn't face, my salary was being collected like the physical collection. So I went back, the principal gave me that money. So, as I was planning for the wedding, I had rented a house where I was staying. So I went, paid the rent, remained with some money. And then, you are in a marriage where already there are some things you're shown. You're very fearful. And so I was feeling it in my body. I did ask for permission as I was leaving the house. So you feel like, hey, what is going to happen today? So I left that place, traveled back. It's quite a distance. So I traveled back. So on reaching the house, I was not greeted. And this is 1 month after our wedding. So I was not greeted. And then that night, I was beaten for the first time after the wedding. So,
were you beaten because of this particular incident?
Because I left the house. I was not supposed to leave the house.
Yeah.
To collect my money. And then now, I call my dad and tell my father, I will tell my father, Dad, he is beating me because I left the house to go and collect my money. And then my father asked me, did you ask for permission? And then I say, I told him. And it's normal if you have informed him, and in as much as he gave me a cold attitude. But I took it as normal. You want your money. So that is what happened. So I was beaten. And that same night, I moved from the bedroom, went and slept in another bedroom. He came to that bedroom, dragged me to a bedroom. I didn't know that after beatings, people must always share make love. So that is what happened. The next day, I'm being introduced in the congregation as usual, as the wife, as pastor's wife, my wonderful wife, the mother of my kids. In our church, we are called shepherdesses. So shepherdess is here. So, with the bruises and everything, you have to rise, smile, give grace to the congregation. It's happening for the first time. A life that you admired is turning into something else. To be sincere, my viewers, me, I admired pastors, my families, and to be sincere, I wanted to get married into a pastor's family because I see how they used to introduce their wives, how they used to carry out themselves. So, and I still have a particular pastor that I still admire his family to date. So, this is now the opposite of what is happening. So you're beaten, you tell your parents, it's, there is that the society has normalized abuse, like it happens everywhere. It rains everywhere. So You just sit there, vumilia. That is what they say. So after that, I say, maybe, if somebody has abused you and then now you say, maybe it is because I did this, that is why he did that.
Yeah. You try to justify.
No, you won't blame yourself. I wish I told him.
Yeah.
I wish I waited for him to give me that opportunity to go back. And the opportunity was not to be there. But now you just say, I wish I allowed him. So you blame yourself for the abuse. So that just went like that. And then now schools are opened. I'm just in the house now. I'm telling him, please. So what are we going to do? Now he tells me that there is a school around. That school they pay 5,000. So there's a school around. I'm going to talk to one of the elders who is the chairman of that school. You will teach there. So I went and taught there in January. I was paid that 5,000. And then Corona broke. So that period. And then I was in February there, I conceived my firstborn. So on conceiving my firstborn, now there is Corona, now we don't have a place to go. So see, I'm just in the house. So everything is just okay. We are just in the house. I realized later that the only problem that we had was that I was not supposed to leave the house. The story of me going to work, it became a problem. So I'm not supposed to work. He will provide. And I married him when he was earning less than 10,000 shillings. It was too little. And as much as, they have some other sources from the ministry. So I stayed there, I'm pregnant, and then we're just in the house, everything is okay. And then after some time, now I'm around 5 months pregnant. So he's sitting outside the house under a tree next to the church. And then because we are staying in the church compound. And then now I'm tired of sleeping. And then now I decide, let me walk. So I'm walking, I leave the church, the house, and then now I'm walking inside the church. Remember, he's sitting next to that place. I want to pick a chair to go and join him under the tree. So I'm walking inside the church, I pick a chair. So by the time I'm picking the chair, I hear him talking on the phone. So I just carry the chair, and then I walked through the back door. So I hear him talking on phone, and then the other person, who is a woman, of course, is telling him that, what if you come here? No, he's the one saying, I will lie to her that I will be going for a mission for 2 weeks, and then I just stay there. Then come back. She doesn't have to know. And then the person on phone is now asking her, but what if she knows? And then he says, but a man is like a lake. One woman is not enough. Luo puts it very nice. A man is like a lake. One woman is not enough. And she knows that. And then I'm like, what is this? I'm pregnant. Hey, Asira ikapanda, my friend. So I left there. Didn't even carry the chair anymore. Dropped the chair. Went. Snatched the phone from him. So we struggled. So while struggling, he forgot I'm pregnant, pushed me across the tree, and then gave me some punches, and then lying on my stomach, facing up. And then now, in the course of that, I don't know how it happened, but I think I walked with my hands. I just held on the ground as I was shifting from one place to another, went to the house. Then after some time, I started, my water broke at 5 months. I almost lost my child anyway. So my water broke. Then I was referred from one hospital to another, from Mbita all the way to Kisumu. And then when we went to the hospital, you hear this doctor telling me that the child cannot survive whatsoever because the water has broken. Yes. So has broken. So the child cannot breathe. So after some time, the child was given I was given some medicine for the child to develop the lungs. And then after some time, I went into labor. And then the child came out, and then she was taken to the NBU. My child is alive. She's a very beautiful color. Right. But I almost lost her. in the course of that.
But let me take you back to that moment where you are pregnant, your 5 months pregnant, and you hear him on the phone with making plans with another woman. And then you ask about it and you're beaten and you're carrying his child. What did you think in that moment?
By that time, you still know that this guy loves you. Maybe that woman is a devil. You're not blaming that woman. Yes. So the only thing you need for him to prove to you that I'm sorry, that woman, maybe there is something that he's using on me. And with that you are convinced.
You're convinced.
Yes. Yeah. But he didn't do that. That is the opposite. Instead of telling me, no, I'm not I'm sorry for doing that, I'm sorry for making that call. No, he's now showing you that he's the man with muscles. So that is where I was shocked. You are supposed to even be sorry that you are doing this on my back. For us who did weddings, during on our wedding day, you promise in front of everybody, forsaking all other magic. Yeah. Now I'm now pregnant. You are supposed to be here with me this journey, and now you're not forsaking them. You are planning to go out there for 2 weeks, lying to me that you're on a mission. So that is what happened. Okay, I felt I was so disappointed at that point.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because I didn't expect it. But do you know what I did? Imagine I told everyone that it's just normal that my water broke. I hid that from even my parents. Nobody knew that my water broke out of abuse. Nobody. And to make it worse, now it was physical. Now, after some time, I'm back with the kid. We stayed in the hospital for 2.5 months. Now I came back with the kid. Everything is just okay. I'm not planning to go to any job because I have a small child. The weight by then my daughter was around 600 grams. We stayed in the hospital for 2.5 months until the child at least reached the desired weight. Then now we left the hospital. So coming back, he was so good. One thing with the abusers, especially the narcissists, when they have known that they have wronged you to a certain level that they feel you may even decide to walk out, they come back with a love bomb. They love bomb you. They do everything good. But during that time, he was even washing my clothes. He was doing everything. He's not doing it for you, remember. He's doing it for people to see that, hey, that man is a good man. See, he's even washing clothes. So we stayed there. After some time, we were given transfer to another place. So in that place, he did something in church. He messed with something. I don't want to mention it because we are not talking about him. We're talking about me. So we were suspended from the ministry. And then after that, I went and looked for a place to stay, just near the church. Our things were just left in the church. I talked to our officiating minister, and he allowed us to just leave the things in church because it was suspended. And I advised him to leave that place because now, in the ministry, they don't love one another. People are celebrating. So I told him, these people are talking about you and they're celebrating your downfall. So you have to leave this place, go and look for something to do. So he left. And then he left us there with my daughter. I was staying with a certain cousin of mine at Form 4. I was staying with a certain girl at grade 3. So we're just in the house. Same house. Just a single room. Hey. So we stayed there for 3 months because we were suspended for 3 months. So he came back. So when he came back, he started now with the accusation. That I'm bringing a man in the same single room where we're sleeping with my cousin, this little girl, my daughter.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it like, I just thought maybe he was joking or something. Because I was asking myself, how can you even accuse me of this thing? And you must also know, with the narcissists, that confession that you want them to give you is what they are doing, is what they are putting on you. If they are cheating, they will say you are. And I dealt with a person who in the narcissistic world is called a disorder that is called pathological jealousy disorder. It's PJD. A person is obsessed that you're cheating. Obsessed to understand that if he goes somewhere, he sends even the neighbor to come and check whether you're in the house. So you are always accused. And no amount of validation will show that you're not cheating.
Yeah.
No amount of tears.
Because they're obsessed with.
They know.
Yeah.
Yes. And they know it within them. So, this is what they use to control you. So he was using that to control. I had left. Now, when he came back, when he left, I looked for something to do because we are suspended now. He has no salary. So we have to survive. So I looked for a school nearby to teach. So when I went to that school, everything was just okay because he was not around. Now, when he came back, the accusation starts. How? He starts by, he comes to school, and then he went to the watchman and told the watchman, there's a lady teaching in this school. She's called Vivian. Do you know her? Vivian is a very lovely woman. Yes, I know her. But how many people does he relate to? Yeah, but he talks to everybody, the students, even me, whenever he passes the gate. I used to buy even bananas. By the way, me, in my workplace, I relate with almost everybody. So I even buy banana, and then when I'm passing through the gate, I'm telling the watchman, now I have the bananas here. Let me give you one. If this woman looked at it with bad eyes, Uko, in the village, you believe that people look at things with bad eyes.
It's bad eyes. So I take your passport.
Yes. So I tell the watchman, let me give you one. If I told this woman looked at it in a very bad way, you also die with me. So I just give that banana, then go inside, go to school. Now, so the watchman told her, Vivian is a very lovely woman, a very lovely girl. By that time, I'm very young, very lovely girl. So whenever he passes here, we even joke a lot, and then he goes to school. No, I don't want that one. Who do you think he dates in this school? The watchman said, no, in that one I don't know. And then now he doesn't stop there. He looks for numbers of the teachers. And then by that time, I was relating with all these teachers, but there's this one particular one who was coming from my mother's side. So I used to call him, Luo says Nera, my uncle. So I used to call him. Anytime I come to the staff room, I say, hey, my uncle, Nera, how are you doing? So there is this teacher who leaked out that we are close with that teacher. So that is how it started. My friend, he used to even send that teacher messages. I will come down with a panga. I will kill you. Tells you that you want to sleep with my wife. So, to an extent that he used one of the teachers with just 500 shillings that I came to find out later. He gave that teacher 500 shillings and then told that teacher to pretend like an outsider and call the principal and tell the principal that we have heard that Madam Vivian is sleeping around with so and so. If you don't sack Madam Vivian, we are coming to ban the school because we cannot allow a teacher to date a fellow teacher in front of our students. I hear that thing is going on even in front of the students. And then now, you know what the principal did? He called me. Instead of calling the two of us, he called me, asked me, Teacher Vivian, are you dating Mr. So-and-so? No, but that is my relative. No, but we have information. Even outside here, the villagers have now started complaining. I said, wow. So they are complaining that I'm dating Mr. So-and-so. I'm not mention his name. By the way, he has remained my friend to date. We are very close friends. He was even married. He has a family, but we are friends. Just because of that. So, now I'm like, but who said this? They are telling me that he is coming to school. But when I ask him, that time I only came there, I just passed by, but you're not in school. Like, I was not in school, but I stay in school. Why are you saying that I was not in school? And you know how they pretend, how they camouflage. You are warned. You are the wife here. You want to prove to the world that I'm having the perfect marriage. And this is a marriage in the ministry. See, perfect. And we are making good pictures on Facebook. People admire us. People even want us to be their best couples in marriages, in their weddings. But the opposite is happening. So it happens that way. The principal had to sack me. So I left.
Because of that?
Because it is everywhere. Wow. The villagers. He didn't know that this was a teacher. The villagers are now talking about it. So Vivian is having an affair.
That must have been difficult for you.
I almost committed suicide anyway because of that. Because by that time, you still don't know who you are dealing with. You're asking yourself, what am I not doing? how is it that now this guy has to even come to my place of work? Now, I did this. I called the officiating minister who united us in our wedding. And then I told him whatever was happening. Told him, no, that is wrong. I have to talk to him. I don't know how they met and talked. I became the bad person. I was not told anything. So after that, I had to stop teaching. And then during that time, he's telling me, I know people are saying that you'll never give birth. Why is it that the first one, every woman goes through abuse? Why is it that you carried your child for only 5 months? So I'm not planning the second child. I want to prove to him that whatever people are saying, people are lying. I've not known who I'm dealing with. People are lying. How can they say that I cannot give birth? So in 2022, this pregnancy, I planned it together with God. I told God, I want to prove to people that I can give birth. And that nobody is saying that. He is the one who is saying it. Nobody. Who is saying that I can't give birth? Who knows me that I cannot? They know you. When do they even know me? Not even my parents know that I cannot give birth. Giving birth is between you and God, or between you and your gynecologist.
Yeah.
You go to the gynecologist and they will tell you that your ovaries are not. So definitely nobody in this world can say that you cannot give birth. So I'm like, God, I want to prove to these people. By that time, I still believe that people are saying.
That it's people that are saying.
I want to prove to these people that I can give birth. So I was always praying. So I said, somewhere in August, he was leaving for a camp meeting. So I said, we want to have another child. And then I conceived the second born, a boy. Then that child came into the picture. Now, the boy is there. Somewhere in May 2023. Because I conceived. Before that, I was beaten. I've not told you. You see, during this time, campaign period, for the elections 2022, I'm idle. I'm not doing anything in the house. A friend of mine,
your job.
Yes, I don't have a job. And again, I've decided to stay in the house because whenever I'm looking for a job, we have a problem. But when I don't have a job, we are just in the house.
It's peaceful. And the marriage is blissful and you're happy.
Everybody's happy. Because now he can leave the house, go do his things, come back. But Mimi, I cannot leave the house. He even have CCTVs. CCTV in form of human beings. Imagine I have a house girl, though she was a woman, and then this girl. If I leave the house, I just do a shower and then put on maybe my clothes, not the deras, just the normal clothes. And then I leave to where we stay, we call them center. I leave and then go to the center. When I come back, he will ask, they will ask, did madam leave? He calls me madam. Did madam leave today? Yes, she left, but alifika tu kwa duka karudi. What did alivaa aje? Imagine that is how anauliza watu. Alivaa aje? Okay, so it means she left the house. She dressed like this. When he don't think that he is going to ask today and ask today. He is going to ask these people and ask you today. No, he's keeping records. One day when you're having problems, you say, see, even on this day I left and went to Homa Bay, you left to do. That is what you will do. So before we come to that, so I left. A friend of mine called. Can I remember Vivian? There's a politician who is coming around. When I was in the university, I was known, outspoken. I used to campaign for people. I used to do a lot of things. And Mimi, I used to even bring our whole class together to go against an aspirant if I don't like me. So I used to do those things. So this friend of mine knew me from the university. So this politician came around that place. He told me, today we are meeting in Rodi. And from Rodi, we are going all the way to Mbita, to Ndewa. And then from there, we are going to a certain funeral. If you can accompany mheshimiwa, I know today hatutakosa hata kitu kama 5,000 hivi. Sasa mimi ni nani? I waited for him. I didn't even tell him I'm leaving because if you tell him, he will not allow you. And then he will not even leave the house that day. So I didn't tell him. I just went to a bathroom, took a very good shower. I just did a simple cloth because you are a pastor's wife, so you can't mess. So I just did a simple skirt and top, then a sweater, and then left. So when I left, we went to We went to Rodi and then took our trip. You know how campaign training goes. So we went all the way. But that day, the campaigns ended very late, and around 6:30. So at 6:30, I'm receiving a call. Vivian, where are you? I told him, no, we went for a campaign, and we are not taking long. I'm on my way coming back. Yani, you left. And the way I told you not to, you know, they say a lot of things. So, and then I told him, I'm not a small child. I will come back to the house. Here, that is how the eggs started boiling. So they were boiling as they wait for me. So I come back to the house. And then on reaching the house, I just entered the house. You know, we went to the campaign. I was given money. I'm being beaten with my money.
Your money in your pocket.
Intact. So I enter the house. So entering the house is closed. He closes the door and tells me, where did you go to? Then I repeat the same thing. But we went for a campaign. And then he tells me, did I say that you should not leave this house? And even if you leave, at what time did I say you should be coming back to the house? And then I said 6. Then why are you here by this time? And then said, what did I do? And then he just decided, he slapped me, threw me in front of the kids, started beating me, punching me on the chair. You know, he's heavy built, beating me on the chair, And then by the time he's beating me, my phone is here. He went to bring, I don't know, a belt. No, he went to bring a stick. We stay around in a compound where they are. So I took my phone, called one of my uncles, and then I tell my uncle, this man is beating me, but I don't see anything I have done. And then he hears me on the phone, comes back, takes my phone, throws on the floor. He threw the phone on the floor. And then now my uncle calls back. Uzuri, the phone did not break. So haikuvunjika. So the phone kept ringing. And he tells me, if you make a mistake of taking that phone again, I will destroy it and you will never have a phone again. And now I decided to keep quiet. You see, to an extent that you can do, you still crying. You have to please him so that, you know, the way you beat a child, oh, baby, you still crying. The child says, I'm not. That is how I was behaving to calm the situation. You still crying. You still want to make a call. I'm fine. Now the children are watching. The ones I'm staying with, they're watching. And then after that, I decided to now stay. And then after that, now that is where now I want to prove to the world that I can give back. So I conceived. To conceiving, we are transferred from that place to another. Now I don't know what the problem he had. He can't stay in his workplace for some time because he has to be transferred from one place to another. So we left to another place. So that place, I don't know, because, you know, it can reach a point that you're now used to the beatings. You are used to the emotional part of it, the abuses, the threats. Now you decide that, Mimi, hey, after giving birth to this boy, I cannot stay in the house. So when we reached the next his station of work, I stayed in the house, gave birth to this boy. During this time, he tells me, no, we went for scanning, for ultrasound, and I was told the child has not turned. The child was in breech presentation. So I had to look for somebody now to help me.
Yeah.
So he comes with an idea of bringing another girl from his previous station. So I welcome the girl, even send her my fare. She comes. The first time we are just okay. The girl, we are just okay. We're just fine. Nothing is going on. And then, I don't know, he uses his tricks on the girl to make her my CCTV again. And you know, during this time, he is portraying a certain picture of the girl to me, to hate the girl, this girl. Kumbe, he has an agenda with this girl. You know that person who tells me, I don't like her. You should send her home. You do what? But at the same time, he's the same person who has made this girl to hate me, to even despise me in my house. So we're just here. I booked for CS. I'm the one who booked for my CS. And then went for the CS. This girl even came to the hospital to help me. Even that time, we're still okay. But now, after coming back, I started washing after 2 weeks. And the girl is there. Because now she has been made to despise me. Whatever they do behind the curtains, I still don't know. Because I could swear in front of God that he's not cheating on me. He's using those tricks. I told you I dealt with a person with PJD. He's using his tricks. He's obsessed that I'm cheating. To an extent that I am living in fear. But in real sense, he's the one who is doing them. So this girl reached a point that she could even tell me to, if I want to wash, I can as well do it myself. And you know, I went through CS, so there are things I cannot do. So it reached a point that this girl was now too much. No, even before we come to that. So I'm just in the house. I've decided to take care of my baby, because I had made it in my mind that after that I would get out and look for a job. So a friend of mine calls me and tells me, Vivian, we should look for area MP for Rongo to help you if you want to get a job, because teachers are being recruited now. And then I said, okay, why not? So I expressed milk, left it for that girl, and there's a certain girl that I really appreciate, that girl, the little one. She has been of help to me. So I left that milk for them and then told them I'm only leaving for 3 hours. I didn't tell him where I was going to. So I left, rushed to Rongo. We didn't meet the MP that day. So because he was in a meeting and it was taking long, and I have a child. So I decided to rush back home. The distance too is very long. So I just said, let me just go back home and take care of my child. If we are to meet the MP, I will meet him one of these days. And then when I reached the house, he had already come back from wherever we went to. So he's there now. I'm like, what am I going to tell him? I'm used to beating. So I decided to cook up a story. After all, what will you do? I just said, there's a friend of mine who was very sick, so we took her to Royal. Then after that, he was transferred to another hospital. And then he tells me, where? Royal? Yes. And he was not even bothered. The next day he went to Royal. And then looked for the CCTV. Didn't see my image.
Looked for the CCTV.
Yes. And I was even wondering how the hospital allowed him to. They are so good with words. I don't know what he did. He looked at the CCTV and didn't see my image. And then he went to the hospital that I said the patient was transferred to. He didn't see my image. So he came back now with full gist. You did not go to Royal. True or false? I don't know. I don't know what to say. Now he left. He left the sitting room, went back to the bedroom. Nurses write long messages. They're good at writing long messages, very long. And in the messages, they accuse you. Everything that has always been reported, they now give it in those messages. On this day you left, you were carried on this bike, you did this, you came back late. You see, I was not bothered. Yes, because I know you're a grown-up. On this day, so you are like, what is this? So that day, the only thing I told him is, Osiepa. Osiepa in Luo means my friend. Osiepa, I am very young. And to make it worse, I'm breastfeeding. If we go through this journey again, my breast may dry up of milk. I will keep on becoming worse. So what you do, if you have decided that this is the journey you want to walk, I'm not doing it anymore. Just do what you want. That is what, and by that I finished by saying, just do what you want. I love you. And then after that, he didn't say anything. He went home, left us there. I'm not sure whether he went home. No, I don't ask. So he just left the house. From whatever he wrote in that message, I felt that this girl, the one I'm living with, was spying. She's the one who is spying on me, because there are some stories that will sit girl to girl, talk about them, and then now she uses those stories. So it just went like that. I used to sacrifice a lot, carry my children with my wound, which is just 1 month, go stay in another camp. This lady remains here. She pretends that she's going home. The whole week I'm in another camp, she's here with this man. And then when I'm coming back on Saturday, then now the girl leaves, come back when now I've settled. Now I'm you are from home, eh? A neighbor tells me that this girl has been here for the whole of that week. Yes. So that is how I realized. Now I started having question marks. So this thing was stressing me. This guy was stressing me to be sincere. Emotionally, financially, you get a job. The last job that I got, I was earning more than him. So you know what he did? I just earned once. You know what he did? He went to my boss, told my boss that, it was an NGO job. He told my boss that Vivian is neglecting our kids because of this job. So see what to do, because I'm going to sue her. You know me, he doesn't tell me. And my boss, too, thinks that I know. So whenever I'm going, in front of me, how you're going to work? Kumbe, behind my back, he goes to my boss. So the last one that he went to my boss, he told my boss, I had Vivian make it. Now he has not succeeded in turning my boss against me, because me, I'm good at my work. Everything I do with a lot of passion. I do it with you give me a task, I will do it with a lot of passion. So my boss didn't find anything. So he didn't succeed. So all of a sudden, now he goes to my boss and tells my boss, I had Vivian on phone telling another woman that he is going to kill you so that he remains as the regional coordinator. So I'm like, no, and if this comes from a person you share a bed with, will you doubt?
You wouldn't doubt at all.
You can't doubt, because
it definitely last night's, it could have been last night's spill at all.
Maybe I was somewhere hiding, making a call, and he had me. So you cannot doubt that. This is too much. So me, I'm just there doing my duties, and then there was another post that was now advertised. So because of I knew that I was doing my job very well. On the interview, we remained 2, and I was the only degree holder there. The other one was a diploma. So in that interview, this boy was given that job. I was denied the chance. When I went to ask my boss, he told me that Vivian, go and organize your family, because your family is a mess. I had to leave my job to now come back again to this house. And during this time, any border man who carries me, I sleep with them. To an extent that he goes to a border shed and says he has done his due diligence about that border man. He knows that this guy even is suffering from something. So he is now that one that the society knows is now being affiliated to my name. Now he says, this guy, he goes to a shed and says, there is this guy who sleeps with my wife. I'm looking for him. And that is how your name is now being spread in the whole village. To even shock you more, do you know that this guy arranged with a certain woman to come and beat me in the church compound to make me look that bad?
Why?
Because
what happened?
He one day, there is this guy who was his friend in the village, and this guy came to me and told me, Vivian, I'm looking for a shop attendant. Can you help me look for one from your side? Because the ones that I'm getting here, the villagers are used to them. He opened a small supermarket. It's a supermart. So he was looking for an attendant. I don't have a job. I told him, how much are you paying? 15,000. So that is good, man. And the shop is just directly proportional to the church. I just say, let me go there, because by 8 you're closing. My child is not too young. I'm not used to sitting down to be given. But why did they go to school? So I was looking for money by all means. So when I went to that shop, I only worked once. One day. The next day, he called the wife of that man. Actually, was it a wife or a side chick? He called. They were friends. So he left me sleeping, went to the guest room, made a call. They made their plans. And then now this girl sends me a message. Vivian, nasikia wewe unalala na bwana yangu kwa duka. I'm coming for you. Today, I will beat you. And then I forward that message to my mom. I tell my mom, please advise me before she reaches here. My mom calls her. And I say, give me her number. I give out her number. When my mom calls her, mamangu alipigia kelele akamwambia, what evidence do you have? Who told you that Vivian is sleeping with your husband? And then now it revolves back and comes back to my ex. That they planned, he is the one who told her. And now, because she is even mad, now she's coming to deal with me. You know the wife you are planning to be beaten. You are planning for another woman to come and beat a woman who had gone through CS just the other day. She has not even healed. Now, when it came back to him, and I proved that he is the one who wanted to, he planned that. During this time, I have now started learning about narcissism. This is how I learned about it. A friend of mine just posted on her WhatsApp status. She's booking. She posted that, and then she said, dealing with a narcissistic boss, I'm almost committing suicide. And then I asked her, what is narcissism? What is that? What is that one? She told me, hey, Vivian, but I'm tired. My boss is something else. So what is that term? Can you just Google, just read? So that is how I found out that I'm dealing with a narcissist. I read the term. A person who will use manipulation, feelings, kila kitu, doesn't want to some extent. To make it worse, I read it from a certain nini, and I was told to an extent that you don't even go to Apondi. So this is what I'm dealing with. So by the time he is planning for another woman to come and beat me, I had now known that he wants
an idea of what was going on.
Exactly. So I already know that he wants me to look bad as he does his own things. I can repeat again the first thing I said. I will swear with my life that this guy is not cheating on me, because he has made me to believe that I am the one doing these things, and in real sense I am not. So I talked. Now my mother talks to this woman, and then now this woman now sends me messages asking me for forgiveness. That, he told me that you're doing this and this. And then you go back to yourself and say, let me stop working in that shop. Inafika mahali unasema, kama ni hii inaniletea hii, let me stay away from it. So if it is this, I want peace, because I don't want problems.
I want this. I
don't want problems. So I just want to stay here. Let me just stay here. So I just stayed. And then, I've now stopped working now. I'm in the house. I've started my therapies.
Yeah.
I've started reading more. I've started knowing that these people, the painful thing, these people don't love. They don't even love their children. They see a child as an object, like this glass. So like, if I break this glass, I break this child, the mother will feel it. There is nothing that she will do. So that is how I was being controlled, like an object. They don't love. So the worst thing that now made me leave, let me make this story short. What made me leave? I've known what narcissism is. I know they don't change. I have known pathological jealousy, a person suffering from pathological jealousy disorder, their victims suffer. And their victims may end up dying, proving that they are not doing whatever they are doing. So one day, I was, in as much as I had left working, but most of the time, because it was an NGO job, I could steal most of this time and then go. So there is this day I left the house and then came back at around 6. On coming back, I'm just in front of the house playing with the children. And then now I asked this other girl that I'm telling you I'm staying with. The other one, I chased her away. So I'm staying with this girl, and now I ask this girl, where is so-and-so? He tells me he's in the guest room. So imagine me coming back is what made him and the girlfriend leave the guest house. So they were in the guest house. So that day, I'm just in front of the house playing with the kids. And then lo and behold, he's coming from the guest room, bare chest, with a short. And then the woman they were with in the house is coming out running. So I'm asking, so it is you. I've known a narcissist must always cheat. So I've known. So I'm telling her, so it is you. It is you who have been coming here. And now the lady comes out running. So immediately I followed her. She takes a bike. I took another bike, followed her. But they got lost in between. In that main road to that center, there are 2 branches. So I don't know where she branched. So that is how I lost her. But I wanted to just get hold of her that day and know her. knowing her in Luo, you know what knowing her means. So I wanted to know her. Like, she's the one who was, she left covering her face. I didn't get to see her face very well. So, and then I call our officiating minister again and tell her, hey, today I've caught it. So it has, that relief that comes with, you have always been accusing me that I'm the one who is doing it. But Kume, it has been you. It is not me. I'm happy. I'm even telling my Mama, it is not me. So it means it is him who has been doing these things. So that day we didn't sleep. First of all, he chased me out. I called my mom and the officiating minister. They talked to him. I went back to the house and slept. And then on Sunday we were called for a meeting. That man, you know what he said in front? But they have no shame, even in front of everybody. He said that I always carry used condom to our house. So I was asking myself, are there dustbin in wherever we sleep, or we'll sleep in a bush and then I use tissue and then cover everything and carry it back and tell my husband, I have this strength because I walked out, guys. I'm carrying the used condoms. This is bringing to you that I want to prove to you that I always do it. So I told them that I sleep around, I carry things to the house, I neglect our kids, I don't do anything, I don't wash his clothes, so many things. So I was just there calm, and then nothing much happened that day. That meeting, I cried. My mother was there sobbing. We were like, my mother even asked, Pastor, does it mean that you don't do anything to Vivian? It is Vivian who does all these things. And I said, Mommy, I don't do anything. She's the one who is making me do it. And then now our official minister said, our marriage is going through a rough time because it is when we are knowing one another. So I should just sit there. Everything will be fine. So we went back to the house. Nothing happened. After some time, my cousin was graduating in MKU, Theka. So I left the house because he was not now talking to us. The silent treatment. He was not talking to us. Your name is all over the village. He's now not talking to you, treating you like a stranger and everything. We are from the officiating minister. I'm told to just sit there. Things will change. I should pray for him, pray harder. So things didn't change. After some time, I was traveling now to Thika for my sister's graduation. So I'm somewhere in Bomet. And then now I wake up, when traveling over the night, you will be sleeping because what do you have to see? So I'm traveling. So I'm somewhere in Bomet. And then I wake up, look at my phone, find 2 missed calls. My mom has called. This girl has called. So on looking at that phone, now I say, who should I call first? And then I call the house girl first. No, I called my mom. She didn't receive. It was late, around 1 in the night. Now I call this girl. This girl tells me, hey, madam. They call me madam. Madam, I've heard that it's like there are plans of taking these kids away. So I don't know what you're going to do. But whatever you need to do it quick. So I just stopped the bus. Shifted to... Luckily, I found another one that was coming back. So I talked to the driver. It is a matter of emergency. Please help me. I shifted. So they took me from this inner coach to the next inner coach. So I went back. On arriving, I found the kids were not there. So I asked her, where did he take the kids? And you see that girl who came that day? She was called. And they packed the kids' clothes and took the children away. The girl you were chasing on a motorbike. Yeah. They knew that girl because when that girl came to the church compound, when they were doing their things, the children were there. So I just had my stomach, zile kuna rumba ya wapi? Na rumba, sasa yangu ilikuwa rumba ile ya msoto na stress na kila kitu. I had my stomach, rumba in my stomach.
You feel the level fresh.
Plus the wound and everything. They came together to pull me from my feet. So I first of all called my uncle and told my uncle, huyu amechukua watoto wangu, sijui amepeleka wapi. And I've asked him already. Nikaniambia the children are in the camp meeting. So I asked somebody, it was season of camp meeting for the SDF. So I asked somebody in that camp meeting, and they told me, hakuna watoto hapa. Oh, so I knew that they are not there. So my uncle told me to go to the children's office and get my children. So when I went to the children's office, he was called. He didn't receive that call because he was in the camp meeting. So he didn't receive that call. And then he was called again. He didn't. I was given a letter from the children's office to go and give him. I said, I cannot go and face this man. So I went to a police station. They directed me to a police station. So on going to that police station, they called him again. He didn't receive any call. So the police has always been handling cases like this. So I thank God because that policeman helped me. He took 2 policemen, went and brought him from the camp meeting. Politely. He tells everybody that I arrested him. He wasn't arrested. They took him politely from the church. They just sent somebody to call him, and then he was brought to the police station. Hey, when he was brought there, he has no shame again. He says, see the way he's dressed. This one just left the children there. And when I was traveling, he was not talking to us. The little money I had, I bought them food and said, I'm traveling to MKU. I will travel tomorrow after graduation. So I will come back. He doesn't give us food. Imagine, I'm even cooking using kuni in the church compound. Yeah, we have to fetch for firewood to cook. When the rains are coming, we have to cook fast. I went through frustration.
Somebody have been a lot.
Somebody is not giving you money. He doesn't want you to work at the same time. He's now proving to you, Buana, there is nowhere you will go without my permission. And there is nothing you'll ever achieve in your life. He has reduced you to nothing. You don't have money. You don't have friends. That person who has managed to separate you from family. Family feels that you are messing up. Vumilia. He has separated you from friends because if I'm your friend and you're a lady, he will look for you even on Facebook and tell you, Vivian said this about you. You will say, how can Vivian say this about me? You are not talking to me. And then at the same time, he comes to me and tells me, she told me this about you. You people are not meeting in any forum to ask one another. You're not meeting. And then now, even if you send your friend a text, you find your friend is blue ticking your text. So you're asking yourself, Kwani, what is going on? Kumbe, this guy is the bridge now between the two of you. You people are at his mercies. So there is no friend you can ask for money. You're not talking to friends. He has villagers. Your name is my friend. So when we went to the police station, he told the policeman that I'm a promiscuous woman. You have done what? I've done what? So the policeman that day stood tall, and I want to thank him so much. He told this man, whatever you're talking about, we are not solving. We want the children. Give us the children. And then now he said, I cannot bring those children. Then the policeman gave him a form, P52 form. Told him that you have to bring those children today before 12 midnight. So he went wherever he went to. He went and brought the kids back. They were brought at around 1 p.m. 1 a.m. now. 1 a.m. I'm at the police post. Actually, it's a post. It was not a police station. I'm under a tree up to 1 because I cannot be in any of the police officers' house. That is where they stay. So I was under the tree up to 1.
Waiting for your kids.
Yes, I'm ready for the children. So he brought them. And then after that, gave the children to me. And then the police officer tells him, so and so, these children are for the 2 of you. Now what you do, take your wife home. I cannot take these children home. I cannot take that man home. And then now that guy tells him, but this is your wife. With what she has done, I cannot. That guy left us there with the kids.
At the police station.
He left us there. And then now I had worked in that place. So I just called a certain woman and then told her, Indrigan, I have issues and I'm with my children. We don't have anywhere to go because he told me not to go to the house. I'm with my children. Please get us a place to sleep. I will leave in the morning. So I went, that woman, the police officer, took us up to that woman's house because I couldn't sleep in his house. So he took us there. We slept in that woman's house up to morning. So the next day in the morning, I looked for a place next to the church, neighboring place. And then I slept there. Imagine I was outside the kids 3 days with no clothes. We were just there. And then on the 3rd day, now my mom calls me and tells me, what you need to do, Go back to pastor, beg, tell him that you have changed your mind. You know, these police officers also told me the same thing. If you want to leave, if you are planning your exit, go back, because you cannot live with nothing. Your certificates, your ID, your everything is in that. You people are living together. So go, beg him, pretend as if everything is okay. Beg him, and then let him bring you back to the house. And then from there you plan. You now plan with yourself because you know who you are dealing with. So I went back to the house. My friend, I knelt down. I begged with the tears. Told him, you know, it has happened. I didn't know it would reach this far. Please forgive me. I begged. And then he just said, and then I'm very funny. So after begging, now he tells me, it's okay. Now stand and sit down. I'm standing up. Then I'm asking him, teary. But you know, in my heart, I know what I'm doing. So I'm telling him, can I go and get the kids now? Have you forgiven me? And then he say, it's okay, go and bring them. I say, bas. Oh, I'm sharing a box. So I went and brought my kids. So I started planning my exit. That is how now I'm planning. Pole. And then now, he's going for a camp meeting. On a Sunday, hours just comes to an end on a Saturday. Then on a Sunday, I'm told, I'm asking around. You know, I don't want to ask him directly. So I'm asking around. I'm asking people, what have you heard that he's going out? Now they say, he's going somewhere around Rodi. I said, thank God. And then I know I'm asking you, I hear that you're going to Rodi. Can we accompany you, or you're just going alone? He said, no, I can just go, and then you people come on a Thursday. I say, pass. And then I wake up, washes all his clothes, and then I iron them. By the time I'm ironing them up, wake up gospel on a very loud.
Yeah, the perfect
Now,
wife.
yes, I'm now ironing as I sing along.
Dwayne wife.
Exactly. So I'm ironing the clothes as I sing along. I'm very happy. He doesn't know that I'm celebrating that he's living for me to leave him for forever. So after I've finished ironing the clothes, nimempangia vizuri kwa bag. The next day in the morning on a Monday, he left. No, before he left, I prayed for my husband. I asked for the holy angels to take care of him throughout the ministry. So I have prayed. Now this is my wife. She is now back to me. Very submissive. So I pray for my husband, and then he leaves. Immediately he leaves. He left the gate. But there is something that made him feel that I was leaving. Actually, he told the new house girl that now I had. He told the house girl, take care of my kids. There is something telling me that things are not okay. Then the house girl told him that it's okay. So the house girl comes to me immediately and then tells me, Madam, najua ni kama pastor najua tunatoka. I called him immediately. Eti, hello. I used to call him Daddy. So I called him, Daddy, ni nini mbayo unaambia so and so eti take care of the kids. Kwani I can't take care of the kids? Not no. I was just telling her something is telling me that maybe you people are not okay. Now we are fine. See, we are coming there on Thursday. Wapi. So I started packing because my counselor told me, my therapist told me, as you are packing, remember to be saving some little money. You cannot leave the house without money. So I saved. I had some few cash on me. So I left. I planned vizuri sana, packed. During the camp meeting, all my clothes, the baggy ones, me stress made me gain weight. I was almost 100. I was very big. So all my big clothes I had given out during the camp meeting. So I remained with some few. So I packed my clothes, my kids' clothes, including shoes, and then I carried them. Imagine I left everything, kila kitu nilishanunua na chama kwa hiyo nyumba, my seats, the fridge, everything I left for him. I just carried 2 gunias za green. Zenye nyuma yake niliandika Apondi na phone number yangu because I was taking them to in a coach. So I carried my gunias, only 2. And he told everybody that I brought a lorry with my mom to carry everything. But unless you people have evidence, I carried gunia ngapi? 2 za green. Nilieka manguo zangu ndani na manguo za watoto. And then I carried them. By this time, do you know where I'm going to? By this time, I'm not going to any relative. When you say enough is enough, you don't even want to branch to any relative. Enough is enough. I'm not doing this again. Because if you go to the relatives, they will call the same meetings the two people have had previously. And then they will be telling you, Vivian, nowhere is easy. Vivian, should you please do this? You have kids for the sake of the children. And this word for the sake of the children, bringing children up in an abusive marriage interferes with them.
Absolutely.
Interferes with them. They even become worse than their father. Because they now believe that everything is solved with war.
And violence.
So I always feel that whatever I did, I was doing it for myself and I was doing it perfectly for my kids. So I left. I don't know where I'm going to. During this time, a day to that day I'm traveling, I decide that I'm going to Nairobi. So with my 2 gunias, I take them to Inakochi. And then I say, I called a certain friend of mine. Right now she is in the UK. So I asked her, where do you think in Nairobi I can get a cheap house? And then she tells me, along Kagundo Road. Wewe ukishafika Nairobi, chukua magari za Kagundo Road, shuka kwa maji, and then from there I'll start walking. You will get a house. Because I wanted a house, a bed sitter, where even if my children mess, they can easily clean it because you have a toilet, you have water running. I didn't want to share. I go to a single room and my children messes around. The neighbors will be shouting at me. I already have a lot of problems. I don't want problems. I want only peace now this time.
Yeah.
So I look for a house. So nilishuka kwa maji, nikatafuta nyumba. Ended up in a place called Feroz. I'm now revealing this because my friends, I'm not living there anymore. Not get me there.
Apondi, do you know how much faith it takes to leave the village I used to come to Nairobi, to a random place that you've never been to?
That is what I wanted. And you know what?
The resolve was strong. I'm not doing this anymore.
Enough is enough. Having known that nurses are devils and they will not change. And they are the victims all the time. All the times meetings are called. I ended up being the bad person. So I just said to myself, enough is enough. So I came all the way to Nairobi. I don't know anyone. Okay, I may have relatives here, but I don't want to go to a relative. I don't want anything called relative because they're the same people who, in return, they judge. They say, I knew it. I knew it couldn't happen. I knew. So I decided to come to Nairobi. So this is what I do. We reach Inner Court's office. I leave the kids there with this girl. And then I decide to take a bus to kwa maji. Nashukia kwa maji. Nikatafuta nyumba. I ended up in Feroz. So in Feroz, I got a bed sitter, 6,500. I paid the deposit and the rent. I now come back for my kids. You went there. Our gunias served as our bed that night. And I was peacefully sleeping on the gunia because for the first time I'm having peace. I own a house. And then now, the money that I saved, I went, bought a bed, bought a mattress, bought a gas, then some few things. Kikombe mtatu, sufuria moja. Then we just started living. So on a Friday, nikasema, it is third term. Nairobi ni shamba la mawe, as they call it. I'm going to look for something to do. So I went to 2 schools. The first school looked at my CV. It was a good one. But they told me, Vivian, you're a very good teacher and I can see that you have good recommendation. But we may need you in January. I said, no, it's not happening to me. I went to the next school. So reaching the next school, God loves me. So when I reached that school, the director is not always in school. But that day she was there. So when I went there and told her, I'm looking for a job. Then she told me, why in third term? Yeah, no, madam, I have a lot of issues, but I need this job. If you can give it to me, I'll give it my best. So she tells me, come in. Hey. Then she tells me, in our school, do you have kids? Then I tell her, I have 2. But one has started. The other one has not started school yet. And nikamwambia, why are you asking? She tells me, in our school is an NGO. So if you're a teacher here, we take your kid absolutely free. We give her uniform, shoes, everything. And then I say, and what is your salary again? Then she tells me, yeah, we only pay 15,000. That is enough. That is enough. When I heard that you are going to pay me 15,000, I'm not paying school fees. My daughter is given uniform, food and everything. We only meet in the evening as we go home. Hey, I just said, then you imagine I told the director, you are the angel that people always talk about. Now you are the one who has been sent to help me. So she tells me, if you're ready with the 15,000, to her that was too little. She told me, if you're ready with your degree and the 15, imagine she tells me, with your degree and the 15,000, come on Monday. Madam, I will. And then she tells me, what is the age of your daughter? I told her. Then she sent whoever was in charge of uniforms. My daughter is given everything, from shoe to everything. Then I went to the house. Now I was dancing. He has done it for me. And now this girl is asking, why are you dancing? I've never seen you this happy before. And then I now told her the whole story. So that is how I started living in Nairobi now. So 2 months I worked there. And then now, after, in private schools, they don't pay holiday. So 2 months again, no job, no salary. You know what I did? I told God, you know what? I was accused of sleeping around. I'm not going to sleep around. Just tell me what to do. I told myself that I'm not working in a pub. I'm not working in a bar. I'm not working in an hotel. Because in an hotel, even if a customer touches you, or a pub, they touches you, they harass you, if you report, unafukuza customer. So I said to myself, I don't want to associate myself with these things. So God, you have to give me a solution. So I nikapanda gari from Feroz, where I used to stay, coming to town. So as I was inside this bus, I see a woman collecting fare from passengers. And then I say, it's not a bad idea. And then I call that lady close to me. And then I ask her, how much are you paying? Kanambia, hapa ina depend. Alikuwa Mjaluo. So we started talking in Luo. This one depends. Sometimes if it is too bad, you can go back home with 500 shillings. If it is good, you can even go back with 1,000 shillings. Sema pundi nini na. I went and I looked for a badge. I have it to date. I looked for a badge, a conductor. Then that is how I became a donda. Now I'm the conductor in town. Apondi is now, from being a pastor's wife, now I am the donda in town. And I don't mind. Nagunga ugari vizuri sana, Saika Molem Junction, Jos Kamala, Kamulu. And I was very proud because at the end of the day, I could not go home with less than 700 shillings. I was working very hard.
Have your peace of mind.
Yes, and I can pay my rent in 1 week. What are you saying? So my kids are now very okay. So I lie to this girl. When I come back at night, I'm lying to her. We were doing some delivery. I don't want her to even know that they don't. In as much as I'm proud of it. Yeah. But I don't want to even say that I'm doing that job. So I did that. And then after some time, I started doing some writings on Facebook. So during this time, this guy is out there. Narcissists would smear campaign. They're smearing that on your name. They're saying a lot of things. During this time, mimi ni conductor Nairobi. Mimi ni donda. I have my PS, my badge. During this time, mimi ni donda. But you know what he's telling people? He's telling people that I had a husband before he married me, and the husband impregnated me. I had 2 kids. One is 20 years. By that time, I'm only 29. One is 20 years, a son who died, and then another one is 19, has done for my daughter. So this guy came back and took us. We are living a very luxurious life. That man has built me a house somewhere in Rukameji. I don't know where. I'm living a very good life. But do you know a person who is living a good life in a maroon shirt, in a maroon trouser? I am a donda, forgetting that I even have a degree. And even during this time, they were even shocked. The people we were working with in that circle, they were shocked when they heard my story that Vivian has a degree. The way she handled herself here like a school dropout. I was relating with them so well. So he's outside there telling the whole world, anybody who cared to listen, how we went for visiting. He found me HIV positive, so I decided to run away. Mara, the husband came for me. I am drinking. I'm a drunkard. You can imagine a pastor's wife everywhere in the village. You're told you're a drunkard. Mara, during his attempt to make love to me, I couldn't kiss him because I use a lot of bang. He smear campaigned my name. He said everything possible. that would make people hate me. So during this time, I'm minding my business. So I said, this thing is too much. I started writing on Facebook. Episodes. People know, others call me episodes. I started writing episode 1. When I got married, all these things happened. Episode 2. When I got a job, he did it. Episode 3. When he did this to me, I couldn't. Episode 4. He was sleeping in the house. I wrote a lot of episodes, which exposed me now. People now started talking. People started opening up. Now women are coming up and talking to me. So during this time, now, the Donda work, somewhere in December, I left because now I went for some organization took me in. Now I was preaching against GBV. So during that time, my work from Donda, I stopped. Then come January, I went for an interview in a certain international school in Parklands. So I started.
This is January 2025.
2025. So in January, I got a job in Parklands, started teaching. Oh, the salary was not so bad, but at least I could take care of the kids and move around. And then I just stayed there. Then now, my story was now out. Everybody knows it. During this time, this guy goes to a court and files for divorce. And I'm saying it boldly. He went to the court, files for a divorce. I'm served papers through WhatsApp because I'd changed my number. But my WhatsApp was working. So if you call me, you can't get me. But if you text me on WhatsApp, we will see me there. So I'm served divorce papers on WhatsApp. And then, now I'm out. I'm telling a certain friend, before my story came out now, I'm telling a certain friend of mine, I was served divorce papers. I am Vivian, you're lying. You're lying. You are not served divorce papers. You are the one who went to the court and said you want a divorce. And I'm like, that is what is going on, with the smear campaign and everything. He has even said that we only had intimate moments for 2 months. The children are not his. He is telling everybody that the children are not his. But if you look at the children, they don't even resemble me. My children are very beautiful in as much as they are beautiful. But part of them looks like the dad. They look like the dad. And they are very beautiful, by the way. So he's saying that the children are not his. And so on. So I'm like, so this is what is going on. Now I decide to now share my story for everybody to know. They were shocked. The divorce is from him. He piled a lot of lies. He even says that somewhere in 2023, I left him, went to live with a certain man and left him. So the friends are now asking, during this time you had gone through your CS, you left your small child, went to live with a man. How? So I realize, there are arguments. They find it very easy to lie. Now the court decided to nullify that divorce because he didn't even show appearance to court. Alienda ku file to threaten me if I can go back. He just went and filed it so that when I hear that the divorce has been filed, I'll be afraid of being single. My friend, I can never be afraid. And I was very happy now that I started enjoying my life. I've started having that freedom back. Now I know myself. I know that I can do 1, I can do 2. At the end of the day, I'm adding them, the 1 + 1, and now adding to 2. Unlike before, when I couldn't even express myself. We lived in a place like, if we see him coming to the gate, we first of all run to the bedroom, hide, see his mood first. Yeah. If it is bad, we don't come out. Yeah. If it is good, is when the children even come to hug him. So I lived and all this while, I am living this life. The leadership of the church can decide to frustrate you. They lead to me.
Hold that thought. I was just going right there. I want us to switch gears now and get into the rebuilding process proper. But before we get there, the church features very prominently in this story. From you being a pastor's wife, from the church getting involved in your issues, to the church now sitting you and your ex-husband down to discuss and talk about what is happening. How do you feel? What do you think? How do you think the church handles issues of abuse and gender-based violence?
The church is just like any other society, any other person. And the church is against divorce. Remember, there is a verse in the Bible that says, touch not the anointed.
Yeah.
And you know, the church people, let me not call the name of the church so much. People use that verse to intimidate people. The leadership of the church can decide to use that verse to intimidate you. They feel that pastors are angels. How dare you touch the anointed? That is the man of God. But if the man of God is doing the opposite, you know, it now makes it even worse. During this process, I can swear to God that I'm disappointed in the leadership of the church. I cannot say the church because I still worship in the same church. But during this time, I am so much disappointed and hurt about the leadership of the church. Because even before I decided to go public, I did a letter and told them, please, I had made a step to stay away from so and so. But he's making my life miserable. If you people don't call to talk to him, I will go public with this thing. And I hope you are not going to blame me. And if one day you decide to blame me, I have a letter to prove that I talked to you. That is why they didn't blame me so much. They couldn't. Because if it was to even take me anywhere, I have a proof. I have proof of the P52 for the children. I have proof. And if they want it, I can give it. I have proof of the P52. I have proof of the children's department that wrote and told him to go and bring the children. I have proof of the letter that I wrote to the leadership of the church. I thought they would come in and help me. I am disappointed but I don't blame them. Narcissists are good with words. Now, a narcissist is a person who can paint you so bad in the public to an extent that if they even want to ask you, they will say, you don't even need to ask her. I had even made my mind. The part that I didn't tell you, let me shock you. I'm in the house. One of my ex-sisters-in-laws are getting married traditionally. He leaves me in the house. Actually, that day we were washing his clothes. He goes home, and then after the ceremony is done, he tells the clan to remain behind. He has something to say. So he calls them and tells them, I have called you people because I am tired. My marriage is falling. You know how they camouflage. You know how to bring that face. I am tired. Vivian, I'm tired of Vivian. Vivian drinks a lot. Vivian goes partying. Vivian does work. So to this moment, she has decided to leave me. So I just brought this thing because during our wedding, you people helped us. So I've decided to bring it to you so that you know that Vivian has decided to leave me. So, according to the clan, I'm not with him anymore. Where did he leave me?
In the house.
In the house, cleaning his clothes. So, you know, he went and painted a certain picture that I'm a very bad person. I had left. So one of the sister-in-laws calls me. Vivian, where are you? Maybe I'm in the house. Uongo. So sema tu kweli uko wapi? I'm in the house. And then she tells me, no, but he has told us that you're not there. And I tell him, can you switch off this call to a video call so that I show you where I am? Yeah. So I go and then I went and then stood at the gate of the church where we stay. Then I showed her, where is this? But he came here and told us that you had left. When I say that, kumbe I'm dealing with a madman. So all these things, the frustrations, he one day even told my uncle that he came to the house and found a man's boxer. So I was even asking my uncle, uncle, you people, when you go to women's houses, you leave your book. How do you walk? You know, my uncle was even laughing about it. So all these things, the emotional abuse, the financial aspect, I'm living in the church compound, but I'm not going to church. I left going to church because your name is everywhere in that village where you're staying. How you're spiritually you are abused, physically you are abused, emotionally you are now financially you don't have a job. You're seated there. You're in the house. Even if you are planning to leave, where will you go to? You don't have money. He has reduced you to nothing. Somebody, you know, like for example, I have my dental formula. I have one teeth here. Somebody will even use that to emotionally do what? Blackmailing. Say, in front of the kids, anasema, I know your teeth will be like mine will not be like, ma, I'm looking for money, I will make my teeth one day. So somebody is using something that he wants to interfere with your confidence. Your self-esteem is now low. You can't do anything. How will you talk to people? Will you talk like this? You cannot. And Vivian is a very outspoken person. You can stand with a lot of confidence and address the congregation with nothing, without holding anything. Because you'll just stand greeting the congregation as you always wished as pastors were. So all these things, emotionally, financially, it makes sure you are... By then, dealing with a narcissist is difficult because all aspects of abuse is included. Because
a lot of people are not very conversant with the other forms of abuse. A lot of people just think that kuchapwa peke yake
is the only...
Can you talk more about that as a person who went through I'm hearing financial abuse, economic abuse, mental, emotional, and physical.
So, when somebody is abusing you, physically, we all know that physical is the boxing. You wake up with a black eye, tomorrow maybe. Physical abuse is not the only abuse. We have so many forms of abuse. Abuse number one is the physical, that you are beaten. But nowadays men would want to refrain from the physical because they know physical you can easily take them to court. There's another abuse that is called emotional. Emotionally are the words that they throw at you. Sorry, the words that they throw. Look at her. They are body shaming you. They're telling you so many bad words about yourself. That will tie you down emotionally. Emotionally from inside, you now just feel like crying. You just want to cry all the time because you are told something that maybe it is true, it is in you.
Yeah.
But now he is painting it out to make it look so bad. Deals with your emotion, how you feel. They want to make you feel so bad about yourself. Emotionally, they are dealing with you. The same way physically, they beat you. They will make you feel it in your body. So emotionally. Physically, they want to make you feel so bad about yourself. You degrade yourself. You are always crying, always locked in a room. They don't even buy you clothes. But they are ready to take you out, but you don't have clothes because the next one is financially. They have abused you. You don't have any other source of income. Financially, you are down. But imagine somebody is ready to take you out, anakuambia, vaa nguo tuende, utavaa gani? Dera. Therefore anaanza kukuambia, see the way you are looking in that dress. Emotionally amekutai. Already unasema, sasa mimi nitavaa gani na sina? Sina, nani amekwambia ukose? Why are you not like every other woman?
At the same time, you're not allowed.
You can't afford it. You can't work. So emotionally, they want to deal with how you feel, physically, on your body. And then the next one, financially, they tie all sources. How you are learned. Most people who are being abused financially are not. Majority have gone to school, but they have decided to close all avenues that will make you get money. You cannot. And by the way, there's a friend of mine who was calling me this morning, was telling me she didn't even know that she was resigning from her job until she was told, I can provide. Why must you work? And looking at it, the husband has money. Why must you work? And then he gives you that money through love bombing. After some time, the money is not there. You are left there. Financially, you are done. And then psychological abuse. You are abused in a way. He wants to change how you think. Psychologically goes with how you think. Because how you think will make you reason. So you cannot reason. He has decided to tie you. You cannot reason. He tells you, your friend is doing 1, 2, 3. Why are you working with your friend? You know very well this is not what my friend is doing. But now, he has twisted your reasoning. Your reasoning. You are now looking at her in a way. Maybe your friend is a single woman and you're married. What are you doing with a single woman?
Single woman, yeah.
And I met that woman in such a place. And you know very well that your friend do not go to such places. So he wants to find a way of twisting how you reason. And that is how they win.
And I think that is the bit they used to, abusers used to isolate you from people.
Exactly.
You know your friend, you've known your friend perhaps like since you were a child, and then now you meet this person as an adult, and then now they want to twist the way
They are
think
the
about-
ones now to pay
about
for your families.
Yeah.
Yes. So people go through these abuses and they don't even know. The moment somebody is telling you so and so is doing this, please don't just sit. Find out. Because you will end up, by the way, I ended up isolating myself from a lot of people, even my family. I was always alone in the house. If somebody, he sends money to his mother and tells you that me, I will not send money to her. She knows very well that we are not stable yet, and she's asking me for money, and then she sends, and then she tells you, si hata wewe bado una kazi. Definitely utasema sina kazi. So you also want your parents to also believe that bado una kazi. Why is it that I have to send money to them? But here unajua he is stable.
Wow.
But wewe you cannot, because he has told you you don't need to. So if the way you think changes, you now say, I don't need to, because I'm not still working. If I'm not working, you are my husband. Why don't you give money to send to my parents? If you feel that I should not work, it means my parents took me to school to help them in one way or another. But now I'm tired, I can't help them. Why don't you help me? So that is what these people do. So there is this thing that is stopping people from walking out, from talking, or from sharing their stories. Let me tell you how my life has been since I walked out.
Yes, let's get into the journey.
So
How is life? How are things?
Number one, I thank God for the peace, because I'm very happy. I can now do my things. I can follow the dreams I wanted. Actually, you hear I call myself Daktari, because I want to one day walk out of the graduation square on a gown as a professor of. I'll be a doctor soon. God, you know that. So I cannot chase my dreams. Like now I'm back to school. I can chase my dreams. I can now do this. And then at the same time, I cannot take care of my kids the way I want. Pay their fees, buy the clothes that I want. Because during that time, I couldn't even afford them. Now, in as much as struggles are there financially, but I can still balance with the little I have to take care of my family. But there's this thing that makes it very difficult for us, especially the survivors. How do people see you now?
That's where I wanted to go.
How do people see you? A failure. This one that couldn't even take care of her marriage, what can she tell us?
Yeah.
That is what is making so many people to die inside those marriages. Because I'm being beaten. When I get out to even talk about it, there are people who will be like, we need the version of him.
Yes, we need
the other side.
We need the other side of the story.
We need the other. That was too much on my timeline. We need the other side of the story. I did not refuse him to share his side of the story. That is why this thing is called my story.
Exactly.
It is not our story. I am only comfortable to sit down and share my story. Critics are welcomed, whether positive or negative. I'm a human being, and therefore I may have my weaknesses. But I came out to share my story. So you'll hear them say, Ati, you see this one? A failure, Mara, you what? We knew that marriage could not work. Mara, I knew the Apondi we used to know couldn't take care of. And the same things. And the smear campaign, what they use about us. They go there, smear our names. There are people who believe, there are people who don't. But what percentage? There is a higher percentage of people who believe. And you live in a society like at our home, when now I even go for funerals, people look at me, like people want to look at me the way they want. But shock on you guys, I'm very happy. Me, I don't even mind, because I know what I went through.
Yeah.
And it is my story. I know what I went through. And I don't need to even prove to anyone that now I'm happy or not. But I'm living my life. At least now I can now plan with myself. Because if I even ask a certain friend of mine, why are you people waiting for me to die? And then you people come there and say how good I was. Why don't you support me now? There are people who even now want to stay away. And shock on you, there are ladies who will even go to his inbox. I wouldn't even date them. I have proof of one who went and dated him, then came back and told me, Apondi, you were saying the truth. That man is not good. Why do you even want to share that with me now?
Apondi, the issue, especially with women, is that we think that we are better than the other woman that was being battered. When an abuser is just an abuser. It doesn't matter. No one is above the program.
Exactly.
When it comes to abusers.
Exactly. And that is why I was telling another woman. You see, women, I don't know why we have problems. It is the same woman who is going to shame you that you got married at a younger age. The same woman, the same women is going to shame you that you're getting married when you're old. The same woman who is body shaming you that you're very fat is the same woman who will now tell the whole world that this one has decided to go cosmetic way to reduce her weight. It is the same woman who will say, why don't you give birth at you are growing old? The same woman will laugh at you when you give birth at a younger age. So I don't even know what is the problem with the women, especially with GBV. If a woman is going through something, women are the people who should come out. And we are not saying that gender-based violence is just for women, but a greater percentage is women who are suffering. Men also go through the same thing, but because narcissistic women are even worse. I have a friend whose wife is narcissistic because I'm the one who even helped him to identify that the wife is a narcissist. Because he can't even live, he can't even work in peace. Because the wife is always there. If maybe the laptop is on, they are even having a class, and maybe the lecturer on the other side is a woman, she feels that the woman, they're having a video chat. And therefore, the wife will even take the laptop and throws the laptop down. Because she feels that the man is talking to another woman. So, we are not only saying that in the narcissist world, in the narcissistic world, it is only men. Women are there. But the greater percentage of people who die in silence, who are being beaten, are women.
That's true.
So, and the same women are the same people who are shaming women who are walking out of the GBV situations. So it is very difficult. I don't know, from my point of view, from my corner, I don't know how the world will be like, but for me, I decided that it is my life. And I want to make it better. And I'm not saying that marriage is bad. Marriage is a very good thing, ordained by God in the Garden of Eden. And I'm not saying that I want to stay away. If I get a man that we share the same values, we share the same feeling, in as much as I will not put my feelings first this time. I want to look at the standards. I want to look at this man. I want to date this man. Because the last time I didn't even date this man. I was given, and then I planned a wedding. Did you even consult God on this? I don't know. But what I know, I was given, then we planned. And most ladies, what is the next thing after graduation? Get a family.
Yeah, marriage and family.
And I always tell people, nobody under the sun gets married to divorce. Can you plan a beautiful wedding so that you divorce?
A wedding is a lot of work.
And a lot of money.
And resources.
And a lot of time. So can I plan a beautiful wedding only to end up divorcing? Yes. So nobody wants to divorce after wedding. But when situations, I want our parents, please, whenever your child tells you that, Mom or Dad, I'm going through this, please welcome your children back home. Don't wait until your child maybe is pushed on a wall and starts bleeding internally and then dies on an hospital bed, and then now you say it's cardiac arrest. Because most parents will say, Vumilia too. Yatina, there is nowhere that is easy. But the person who is telling you to Vumilia, I've never seen my dad beat my mom. Even if they have their differences, I've never seen sincerely before God. But in your case, my grandmother went to this grave, to her grave. Then we buried her the other day. She told me, Apondi, you don't need to be there. You have to not. That man is not a good person. I want to say the exact word I'm saying. That man is not a good person. Leave that man. Now, recently, now people have been calling me for interviews and maybe conferences. So when I attend, you find me maybe meet friends. So there is this one I attended in Kisumu. So by the time I was leaving, during that time when I was trending, when I had issues, there was this man, he's an influencer, social media influencer. He used to tear me. He used to say, I don't like these people. They pretend to do. So they used to tear me. So that day I went to that meeting. After finishing my topic and everything, I saw him somewhere sitting next to, in the same hall, but they were having fun at the corner there with their liquor and everything. And then when I saw him, I went and greeted him. So a photo caught me when I was hugging him. My friend, that photo is everywhere. That photo is everywhere, and it is written with the same person who forwarded it. My ex wrote, "See Vivian, Pastor so-and-so's shepherdess having fun with her boyfriend." And then he goes ahead and tells people, a whore who could not even keep her family went on a media house to talk about me. So the hate. So he's spreading that hate. Even my grandmother, we buried her somewhere in September. She even had that photo. Everybody.
It was everywhere.
Everywhere. On everybody's messenger, WhatsApp. I don't know. So
there's been a lot of this smear campaign going on. And then now you're also getting reactions from your relatives, your family.
The bombastic side eye. Whenever
bombastic side eyes. Like, the failure, the Odioduogo.
Exactly.
Odioduogo
has come back with the kids. And we went out single. They're not coming back with kids.
I don't know how better to translate it, but I don't want the meaning to be lost in translation. So you'd say it has gone
and come
back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you have any regrets with regard to things like that? And how do you feel about the decision that you made to walk out
now
for yourself and for your children?
Thank you for that question. I am confidently sitting here telling the whole world that I'm happy of the decision I made. I'm very happy. Because number one, I realized that I saved my kids. In as much as maybe we may co-parent. But how do you co-parent to the person who says the kids are not his? Okay, let us leave it there. The law will take its course. But for now, I am even happy that I can now afford, I can save money and buy things I wanted. I can plan with my life. I can now become the doctor that I wanted. I can now mend my teeth. I'm looking for money with it. I'll make my teeth. I can now change my life. Feel proud about it. So that even if I have to go back to the next marriage, I will go back an empowered woman, a wiser woman, a mature person. And now, this time now, I'm not a single woman. I have my kids. I have the luggage. So if you're coming to my life, I am coming with luggage, which we have to take care of. Yeah. So I am very happy. I'm not regretting. Yep. And actually, exactly. And I am very, and I'm not holding any grudge. Just that it did not work. I am very happy about myself. I feel myself. I feel my body. I feel my space. Now I have a house that I can go to work. The little I get, I can now open my door, come back to the house, close it behind me, pray, thank God. I am very happy. I made the best decision. The best. I know maybe there are other decisions I have made in my life, but walking out of a narcissistic marriage was the best decision I ever made. I can never regret about it. And I will tell anybody going through this, it's not easy walking out. It's not. Because you are afraid of what will people say. You're afraid of how are they seeing me. If you have decided to walk out, wanasema jiudendi. I love what Millie says, Millie Odhiambo, our MP, the MP of the place I used to work. Say, jiudendi. I have jiwod my denda now.
Tell them what to jiwodendi.
Jiwodendi means make your body, prepare your body that whatever you're facing, you will overcome. You will not stay in that place forever. And actually, even if you leave, I'm not encouraging women to leave their marriages. But if it is you are going through these abuses that we've talked about, somebody may not be beating you. Akupigi. But emotionally, what you feel emotionally, and already amesha kuua. So, Mimi, I tell women, if you know you have to leave, then you have to you have to prepare yourself psychologically. You know, silent exit, see it, you're planning it today and you're leaving tomorrow. People plan the exit for even a year. She's just there saving. She's just saving some money so that even if she doesn't have a job, but if she leaves, she can open even some groceries to even start from. And let me tell you, sister devils, if you leave them, God opens ways. Because they're devils. You're dealing with a devil. You are dealing with a person who has childhood traumas. Somebody who has traumas, who has problems. To understand that, if her mother mistreated her when she was growing up, now you are the mother. He wants to mistreat you. If you are in a relationship with somebody, you are dating, and then somebody tells you, Mimi, I didn't have a good life. Mimi, I was being beaten. Mimi, I didn't even go to school very well. Prepare yourself. That will be you. You are preparing, you want to marry out of pity. You want to sympathize. You are giving a shoulder to lean on. My friend, you will be the victim. Mimi, my father used to beat my mother. You will be beaten.
True. Because that is what was modeled to them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I even tell myself, if God has to give me a long life, maybe if my children will grow out maybe without a father or not a father figure, I will take them to counseling. I will take them. That one I promise myself.
That is where I was going to. I wanted to ask you if you and the children have received some kind of psychosocial support or psychotherapy. Yes.
The children are very young. Actually, my firstborn is just 5 years.
Yeah.
And the second born is 2 years. So, for them, actually, if you see how my children behave around me, they're happy. Because I provide what they may like. Okay, in as much as I don't have it all, but I give them what I can afford. I have taken them to the best school. I paid their fees, uniforms, books. Even the small one, the one that is 2-year-old, I've decided to take him to school to start bonding with the rest. This other girl that I stay with, she's also very young. I have taken her to school. We are there. We thank God. We have shelter. We have, hata kama ni mtumba tunaosha vizuri, tunavaa. We are there. Tunang'aa. Sahi, my friend. Life has taken another line. So, if my children will reach a point that they need that support, I promise them, I will give it to them. I don't want my children to turn into narcissists or to turn into people who want to make the world a very bad place. I want people around me, the children, because they are now the ones around me, I want them to grow and make the world a better place. Why must you tell somebody that you married a year ago that you should come back to my house by 6? She doesn't know that she should be in the house by 6. Why must you be controlling somebody's life? Live your life. You don't need to control somebody's life. Live yours. This person is also a grown up. She will live her life. Why do you have to control that person? So if it reaches a point that my children need some support, I promise. And that is why I always write on my Facebook account. You people follow me, Apondi. So I always write on my Facebook account that the life that my children will brag about, that I come from a poor background. I don't, in the word poor, let me wrap that one. The life that my children will brag about, that I come from a very good background, is the life that I'm making now. And I want my children one day, when they stand in front of the others, they will say, do you know my mother? Do you know my mother? My mother is a professor. Don't joke.
That's a very profound dream.
Yes. Do you know my mother? You are playing with my mother. My mother is a professor. Actually, right now, I'm back to school.
Yeah.
I'm doing my post degree now.
Yeah.
Because I want my children to brag about me. Do you know my mother? Do you know?
Do you know my mother? That leads me to my next question. What plans and dreams are you nurturing for the future?
I want to be a professor, of course.
Yeah.
And then that is why I'm back to school actually. And then career-wise, I want to really, really build my career. I wanted to be a teacher since I was a small child. Mimi ni wale tungesimama na kiboko na kalamu kwa wall as we teach the rest. So it is a dream that has always been in me. As much as mnasema walimu hatuna pesa, lakini I've always wanted to be a teacher. And even in my workplace right now, I'm very proud of it. The teachers there know that I do my work with a lot of passion. I love my kids, the kids I have in my class. Actually, I'm currently a class teacher. So I take care of people's children. And I do it with a lot of passion. And I know, and that is why maybe God is making me to make steps. Because God knows that I'm doing it with a lot of passion. I love my children. I love my work. So I want to develop my career very well. I'm not planning to shift. I just want to be a teacher. I want to be a tutor, a professor who will stand in front of young minds, tell them about life. And I also want to create a good environment for my children. I want them to learn. I want them to go anywhere. Even if I promised my daughter that even if she has to do her degree or her PhD outside the country, I will look for finances. But now they're still very young. So that is why I'm busy building that life for them. I'm building it for them. And I pray that God will hold my hand in this journey. It is not easy. Because, people are seeing you as a failure. God knows that you're not a failure. I know God hates divorce. But the same God says that you cannot, you don't, by the way, if it is true, that, of course it is true, that God is our creator. Can your creator really want you to be in a toxic place? No. And that is why, if the moment you're going to let go of the toxic place that you are in, God is going to bless you, I assure you. God will open your ways. Why must you always cry? Imagine you are God, and then somebody always comes to you crying. Hata kama ni mtoto wako anakuja, mami nataka chips, si utamwambia nyamaza nisikie unasema nini. Ndio wakishanyamaza na mami nataka chips. Au unataka chips? Leo sina pesa, I will give you tomorrow. That is the aspect of waiting. Leo sina pesa, I will give you tomorrow. So, lakini wewe mtoto analia tu, ninataka chips, mtaongea aje? The same way, reason with God. Tell God, I want this and this for myself. Definitely God will listen. But if you keep crying, that you're always on your pillow, God, kwa nini nisifanyi Mungu? God is wondering, why are you in a toxic place? Get out.
Get out.
You will have, yes. Yeah. Get out of your comfort zone. Actually, that is not even comfort. Why are you there? Why are you in a toxic place? In fact, God will even give you a better partner. See, there are people who marry even at 50.
Yeah.
And for that peace. If God knows that I will get married at 50, at how many years? By that time, maybe I'm a professor, I'm meeting a fellow professor, he say. So it is life. God knows. Nobody akona plan ya mwenzake. God has your plan. And if it is true that God exists, which of course we don't doubt, God will definitely give you somebody better and you will be happy. For now, I am single and taking care of my children as I plan my dreams. You ask what I'm planning to do? Yes, I want to be a professor. I'm working hard for it. The baby steps that I'm making are very loud. I'm making baby steps. I want my children to live a good life.
And that is profound. That is very beautiful.
That is exactly what I want. And I know God is in heaven and God is listening to me.
Yeah.
He will do it for me.
Amen.
Yes.
So, what message do you have do you remember the Apondi that was in the belly of abuse? She was not self-aware. She was not aware of the person she was dealing with. What message do you have for her?
For the Apondi that was there?
Yes.
Apondi, I'm proud of you for walking out. That is the first thing. I'm very happy. Proud of you. Number 2, keep going. Keep going. It is very hard. Sometimes, the lonely times. You're not single. You don't have somebody to talk to and everything. Mimi, I talk to my kids. I carry all of them. One sits here and then the other one sits here. And then sometimes I even ask my daughter, Mama, una miss nini? Oh, these children, how they would open up. sometimes he would open up and tell me some things which I don't want to say. And then I would tell her, hiyo tu, kesho. So, Mimi, alafu we include in the small girl. So when we even have a table of discussion with them, my son comes and sleeps on my belly. Namwambia, unaniumiza, with the wound. And sijawahi pona vizuri. So with the wound, he comes. Namwambia, unaniumiza. Sorry, mom. He tells me, are you okay? I'm very happy. I'm happy. The sad face shifted away. Now it was replaced with a very industrious woman, a go-getter, a woman who is feeling herself, one who wants to take care of her children the best way she can. And that is what I'm doing. So right now, I am very happy. And back to the message I have for Apondi, keep going. God is in heaven. God is everybody's father. Not that now I'm no longer pastor's wife. He's not my father. He's still your father. God is still my father. And in Kijalo we say Nyasaye wunjite. God is the father of everyone. Everyone. So Mimi, I'm still my father's daughter. So even if everybody, and by then this is a method for you, those people who keep mocking me and saying that I'm a failure, but I look like this. There are people who tell me that we are tired of your stories. Why don't you move on? Actually, that is what people say. Majority say, we are tired. If you have left, why don't you move on? It is my story and it is my life.
And we have that in the women as well.
Yes. Yeah. It is my story and it is my life. I can decide to plan it the way I want, because I am telling the world that I was going through this. And finally, by the way, through my story, if I've told I have my phone here, you could be shocked. There are women outside here who have found comfort in me. And we are soon launching a foundation, by the way. My foundation is called For Her Tribe.
Tell us more about it.
For Her Tribe, I came up with a WhatsApp group because so many women, as I was writing my story on Facebook everywhere, so many women came to me in my inbox and they were even going through worse thing than mine. So I told a certain friend of mine, she's working in Homa Bay. I told her, Tama, what if we form a group for all of us so that we can share the ups and downs of these things? And then imagine we just form a group. Right now we are 30 in that group. We have women there their husband have taken the children away from them through bribery. We have women there who, since they were taken away from their marriage, they were sent away from their marriages, they have not even set their eyes on their kids. We have women there who even walked out with nothing, but right now they are doctors. They are working in the bank. They have stabilized their lives. So we are getting encouragement from one another. So we decided, we just sat down and said, we cannot look for a lawyer to represent all of us. We can look for other sources of funds so that whenever the women go through this step, we can have free space for them. We can even build rescue centers for them. So it is a foundation that we are launching very soon, guys. It is still under some work, but I know For Her Tribe will be here for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing work.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I also wanted to ask you, I know that there's a woman watching you right now and she's in the thick of things with GBV. What message you have for her?
Okay.
Look at this camera.
So now, one, it is not very easy for you to even know that somebody you trust, somebody you hold so close to your heart, somebody you once loved is doing those things to you, frustrating you emotionally, frustrating you financially, spiritually. You don't even have the strength to pray. Now, this is what I want you to do. This is somebody you once loved. And walking out of such situations are not very easy. And you know what awaits you, the society, and how they are going to talk. So I know maybe those are some of the things that are not making you to walk out. Walking out is not sin. Walking out, it does not make you look like a failure. But walking out will make you to reestablish yourself, to start at another journey. You know, it is not very easy for somebody that you walk with, somebody that you have matched vitenges, like in my case, somebody that you you have gone places with. to just detach yourself. That is where you find that women have trauma bond. She is planning to come out, but sasa, how will I do it? How? It is high time you detach. There is this book called Detachment. Written by who? I'll text Lynn, the author. She'll write it on the comment section. That book will tell you that the best decision that you can do is walking out of a toxic environment. There's another book too that is sold in the Adventist camp meetings and Adventist home. It is called No Matter What Happens, Life is Still Beautiful. No matter what happens, life will still be beautiful. So don't think of even ending your life because you're going through a narcissistic abuse or you are going through any form of abuse. Because you can be in a position to live, but now, how will you live? What will people say? That is what will make you commit suicide. But why must you die to prove a point? You will be judged. You will be judged whether you walk out. You will be judged whether you die. And even death makes it worse because you are not alive to tell your story. You're not alive to defend yourself. So why must you die there? Start making baby steps. Jiwod you dendi. I had given the meaning of Jiwod. So Jiwo, you are dendi. That you are going to be outside there. You will pay your bills alone. So you'll have to work hard for it. So you don't need to stay there. Why? Why do you stay there? I'm not advocating for women to leave their marriages. If you're in a good marriage, because I'm also looking for a good marriage, stay there. But if you are frustrated, my friend, don't. You will die. And abusers don't even know majority know that they're abusing you. They know what they're doing. But a few would want to control you. So get a life, my friend. Get a life. You don't need to die there.
Thank you so much, Apondi, for sharing your story. And this is a very, very powerful story. It's powerful in the sense that we see how you went through this abuse and we see how you got yourself out of there and you are now in the process of rebuilding a life. That is a profound journey. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this episode of Voices at the Edge. I'm your host, Atieno, and today we've had an amazing conversation, and I know that someone out there will be inspired to do the right thing and to choose themselves and to reclaim their life and to reclaim their voice. If you or someone you know is going through abuse, help is available. They can reach us through our direct line, and we will also share the national GBV hotline where they can seek help. Until the next episode, bye-bye.